pedal point is a device in music where one note, usually in the bass, is sustained for several beats, sometimes over several measures. And while that low bass note is sustained, other things happen above it. And the music that occurs above it can result in dissonances occasionally, either momentary or sustained dissonances, while that pedal point continues to sound in the bass. The nice thing about pedal points is that they're very easy to play. You just park your foot on a note and keep it there a while. It's pretty easy. For an organist who is new to playing hymns, using a pedal point can give you a little bit of relief. For example, instead of playing the appropriate pedal for every note of a phrase in a hymn, you could create a pedal point by sustaining an appropriate pedal point that creates minimal dissonance, and it gives you some latitude and a little bit of relaxation, especially if you're not accustomed to playing pedals all the time. When choosing to use a pedal point in hymn playing, my recommendation is not to use it in the hymn introduction or in the first stanza that is sung in a hymn, because it might create some confusion for the congregation. Instead, a very nice place to use a pedal point is as a variation in your hymn playing on the second or third stanza of a hymn. You know, some hymns lend themselves to pedal points more than others. If you have a hymn with changing harmonies from beat to beat, it may not work as easily. But if you have a hymn with harmonies that change only once per measure, it may work more easily, such as a modal hymn or a pentatonic scale hymn with 5 notes in the scale instead of 7. These are all factors that help lend themselves to the use of pedal points. In the hymn, Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence, the tune Picardy, we have a modal scale in use. And what I'm going to do is to recommend that you play the key note, the pedal point note in the pedal, with the manual right hand playing just the melody, no harmony at all. And then for this example, I'll demonstrate we have a pedal point in the pedal, the melody in the right hand, and chords that float over that pedal point to harmonize it in the left hand. Now, returning to a hymn from a recent lesson, the tune Lancashire, which we sing to the text, The Day of Resurrection, or Lead On, O King Eternal, we can apply a pedal point for almost 2 full phrases of the hymn. I'm going to apply the tonic pedal point on this hymn, and the harmonies will float above it, and of course, we have the melody. Listen. And at this point, we should feel compelled to move the pedal to a new note because it would have been just too dissonant. So here we go on. So you can apply a pedal point for a phrase or 1.5 or even 2 phrases or for the entire hymn, again, depending on how much consonance and dissonance you and your congregation is willing to accept. This can make for a variation in your hymn playing and also give you some relief of having to constantly match those pedal notes to those that are in your hymn or hymnal. The use of a pedal point need not be restricted to the tonic or the key note of the hymn you're playing. In Amazing Grace, for example, a very popular hymn, you can use either the tonic or the first scale degree or the fifth scale degree as your pedal point note. Let's listen to it first with the first scale degree as the pedal point. In this case, it's G because the hymn is in G major. That's an acceptable level of dissonance for use of a pedal point. Now I'm going to use the fifth scale degree, D, for the pedal point. It works just as well. Now, of course, there are notes that will not work well at all for pedal points. You want to keep your pedal point within the notes of the key you're playing in. Just remember this, pedal points can be for a phrase, for the entire hymn, or for just a measure. They need not go through the entire hymn, and you can apply these liberally as you see fit. Use your own creativity. Use your own musical taste in selecting and applying pedal points. And now, here's an assignment. Take your favorite hymn and apply pedal points to it. You may be able to apply them for a measure, for a phrase, or for the entire hymn, depending on conditions. And just see how few pedal changes you can actually make in a hymn and yet keep the presentation something that sounds good, musical, and natural. You'll find that not only will it be a great variation for, let's say, stanza 3 of a 4-stanza hymn, but it will also release you momentarily from the rigor of having to play different pedal notes for each harmonized note of a hymn.